Have it your way. That's the message we hear everywhere today. Authority is something we often want to resist and not really trust. I was reminded of that just earlier today. I was over at Burger King and had a conversation with a gentleman named Brad while we waited for our food. He's a coach here in town, and the only thing on his mind was how young people today just don't respect authority the way they used to. Now, in my experience, that is not true, but for Brad, it was. And as he spoke, it struck me that beneath his frustration was really a longing for an authority that brings order and life and blessing, an authority that people can trust. And that longing runs right through our readings this week as we celebrate Christ the King. Psalm 46 reminds us that the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. See, God's authority isn't heavy-handed. It shelters us. It steadies us. It speaks a word that stands even when everything around us is falling apart. Malachi 3 echoes this same promise, saying that God's people have their name written in the book of remembrance. See, this is a book authored by the King himself. He claims us by his own word. And then Paul tells us in Colossians 1 that this King, Christ, is the one through whom all things were made. This King has delivered us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son. See, it's his authority that rescues us. And then we come to the cross in Luke 23, and as Jesus is being mocked as a king, one of the thieves next to him hears and trusts a word of forgiveness spoken from Christ's own lips. And with all authority in heaven and earth, Jesus declares that this thief will be with him in paradise. You see, in baptism, this same King speaks over us. He says, "You are mine. I am with you." Not have it your way, but have it the King's way. This is a way that leads to mercy, to promise, and to everlasting life.